Bringing you a slightly longer form video. Hopefully you enjoy this. Today we're going to discuss sort of older games, MTXs, shop systems, and a whole variety of talking points. If you enjoy this, smash a like on the video, one comment, one like. Everybody knows the rules. Are you all following the rules? You should be following the rule. One comment, one like. Everyone knows the rules. If there is anything you take away from this video, I would like it to be this. It used to feel like when I purchased a game as a child, whether I received it as a gift or I'd gone to the shop and picked it out, I was getting an experience that team had created for me. It felt like they'd decided to use all of the console's power, all of the PC's power, all of the modern technology they had available, and using all of that technology, they tried to create the best experience based around the world and environment they had created. They wanted it to receive accolades, they wanted it to be well loved, they wanted people to be able to speak about the game in 10 years' time, be able to sign in and play it and still look back with fond memories. The games were crafted with love and care. That's what it felt like to me. Nowadays, it feels like I am a customer and I'm purchasing their product. And their product is microtransactions and shops. They are trying to create a shop with a game attached to it. They are trying to create a shop that doesn't appear so sickly, that people can stomach and manage. They are trying to give you a pill to swallow and make it just sweet enough that you won't complain, and it'll slide under the radar and they'll keep collecting their big bucks and they can move on to the next franchise, the next game, whichever they have in mind to publish. Well, I'm sick of trying to swallow that pill. I'm absolutely sick of thinking about stuff in game. Hey, that looks cool. Did that guy buy that suit? Did that guy buy that armor? Oh, where did he get it? How much was that? Was that a daily deal? Am I going to miss out? Do I need to buy that skin now? Is that skin legacy? Is it going legacy? Is it going to be locked away in the shop? When is it next coming out? Is that event? Is that a timed event? Do I get to play that? Is that this weekend only? I'm sick of these grindy ass systems that are just convoluted crap systems designed to lock players onto their game. I'm sick of swallowing that pill. As players, as gamers, we are a pretty entitled bunch. We are entitled because previous games, previous franchises have been so brilliant and our standards are pretty high. So when I sign in, or I'm told to sign in by the game company Gears of War, and I'm told to sign in to celebrate 13 years of the franchise, and today was the day the franchise started, I thought, wow, I wonder what reward I was going to receive for signing in and supporting this franchise for 13 years. And I sign in and I'm gifted a very, very, very odd, strange, weird blood spray that just nobody uses or ever will care about. And 2, a 3-day boost, which for multiple days of that boost were broken. The game services were broken, and the boost itself expires even if you aren't playing the game. It's great that they recognized the franchise had started 13 years ago today, and it's great we got rewarded. But when a reward is so meaningless and so poor, you just feel like another kick to the teeth. Instead of it being a nice gesture and a good PR move and a good move for the community, you think to yourself, not only was it on the weekend, not only could I not sign in during the weekend and get it, I had to sign in on that absolute specific day. Everything has these little terms and conditions applied to it, it feels like. When you look to the shop and you see all these items that are unobtainable without paying up and getting your wallet out your back pocket, then you are told by the developer that on the Friday you will be given a reward for supporting the franchise for 13 years. The only reason that shop exists today is because of people like me that have been playing and supporting this franchise for 13 years. If this franchise wasn't as popular as it was, or wasn't as heavily supported by its hardcore community, it would be a dead franchise and you wouldn't have the opportunity to place a shop in the game. So when I'm told I'm being rewarded for supporting that franchise and I log in and I see one of the worst pieces of customization and gifting I've quite frankly ever seen, I am insulted. Yes, it's a bonus, but can you not give us anything remotely positive? Also, if I want to get my Illuminati symbol out right now, how do you feel about this? I feel that they are not compressing textures and doing a good compressing job on modern games because they want their file size to be big as possible. Why do they want their file size to be as big as possible? Because that means once you've downloaded it, you're probably not going to want to uninstall it and then re-download the whole thing again. As a result, because it's always installed, you're more likely to play it, and as a result, because you're more likely to play it, you're more likely to dabble in the shop system they have created. That's my conspiracy. Let me know what you think. Now on to the video. So you probably have seen this channel, and you've probably seen all the critique and all the ideas and stuff that I've thrown about, sort of community-based videos, feedback, this and that, and you probably think I absolutely hate the shop in Gears 5. Well, you would be right. I do very much dislike the shop in Gears 5. I don't think we can attribute this purely to Gears 5. Gears 5 definitely has a problem of lack of unlocks feeling meaningless, and generally poor unlocks. This isn't the first culprit of a video game to include microtransactions, and it will not be the last. There's been a lot of traction on YouTube and online about these microtransactions. In fact, it's one of the biggest topics on the game right now. But for me, I understand that microtransactions, sadly, have to be in a game. It's just the way the world is right now. It's the way people spend their money. It's the absolute massive market. You would have to be a very silly or a very rich company to be able to turn down putting microtransactions into your game. Now, we do know that the Gears franchise probably is very rich, and it's backed by Microsoft. So if there's one franchise that could possibly get rid of microtransactions, it's probably Gears of War / Microsoft. So that's the first, I guess you would call it, bad taste in players' mouths, is we know how wealthy and rich a certain company is, and yet the shop is placed inside a retail game. So why does that matter? There are shops in other retail games, there are shops in free-to-play games, and that's completely true. Again, I can't place microtransactions on Gears of War. It is, however, a game that is very symptomatic of the modern world, shall we call it. So the reason microtransactions frustrate me is not the fact they exist, and it's not the fact they're even in a retail game. Yes, ideally there would be no microtransactions, and just like the old days, I'd be able to earn the content through playing, and the content would be meaningful, fun, and high quality. However, we just know that isn't the case. We can't stop people spending their money on things that they want, and that is just the nature, and that is why this always exists. It's why loot boxes exist. Loot boxes are a literal gambling tool that are there for a spin the wheel of you can make it big or you can get nothing, and it's human nature to want to spin that wheel. There is a reason bookies and betting systems have been here since the dawn of time. People have been betting since basically money existed. Everybody wants that chance to win big, win more than what they're putting in. So a loot box was pretty much the first example of spin the wheel and try and make it big. Now, Gears of War 5 does not have this gambling feature, and in fairness, we shouldn't have to give credit because this shouldn't exist in games, but we do live in a time where we have to give credit that Gears 5 doesn't include gambling. I think if I can just touch on this a little without sort of creating an over-the-top point, I just wanted to say that there were many areas of this gambling that were popular. CSGO crates, very popular to watch. Overwatch crates, League of Legends unboxings, there were Gears of War 4 pack openings, there were people that have done this content for years, months, years, whatever it may be, and it's very popular. Now, can we blame the content creators for pushing this to the forefront? Maybe so. Maybe you could argue that, right, you probably shouldn't make pack opening videos and then blame MTXs for being bad, because in a way you're promoting a poor system. So I guess the point I'm making is we need to be a little bit more careful in promoting these poor systems, such as doing skin showcases or character unlocks, if that system is unfair. Now, there is a very valid point, which has been brought to me, that there are a lot of people that can't afford the content and they want to see the content on YouTube before they purchase it. Sort of a try before you buy. Completely agree. That is a very fair point. But we should be asking developers then, can we have a sort of wardrobe in-game where we can try on the MTX before we purchase? We shouldn't have to go to a gambling type of video on YouTube to see the content itself. Dota 2 has this system nailed. If you want to purchase an MTX from Dota, you can equip all of the little bits and bobs, a new sword, a new weapon. You can equip all of these in a private game and test them yourself. Similarly, in League of Legends, the PBE has all of the skins and all of the new content there available, which you can try and showcase and see if it looks good. So I think that's an area we could work on. Rather than promoting poor systems such as totems and skins and loot boxes, we should be asking developers, can we please have more tools to make better informed purchases? Not all games follow this rule. Recently, NBA, a basketball game, yes, a basketball game, literally included a fully working gambling casino into their game. Why? Does basketball fit into the game? Does it fit thematically? Do the players want a casino? No. It is in there to make the company money because they know gambling is big business. It is currently unregulated and people are trying to stop it. I've seen articles on the BBC, I've seen on my TV talk about it, and when they come on the TV and they talk about loot boxes and it's this unregulated system, the show hosts kind of look at them and go, oh, come on, it's video games, it's just £1 or £2, does it really matter? It does. It is gambling for children, and I absolutely despise it. And it's one of the reasons I've fallen out of love with modern gaming, is I feel like I'm a consumer and a customer, rather than a player. It used to feel like a group of people have created a game that they want me to experience. Now, it feels like they have created a shop with a game attached to it. Again, this is not what Gears of War 5 feels like. There are much, much worse culprits. Gears of War 5 doesn't get entirely off scot-free just because other people are doing it worse. When I used to play Xbox, there were a few games that really hold a place in my heart and I remember fondly. These were Gears of War 1, Halo 3, Gears of War 3, and maybe even 2 at a push. And that was kind of your big 3, your big 4, whatever you want to call it. Those were the games that you wanted to play. I have always been able to, quote, grind. What I mean by grind is see a challenge in a video game, see the reward at the end of the tunnel, and see the process and think, I will do that process for that reward. I grew up playing Gran Turismo 1 on the PlayStation 1. And I would sit and I would do the licenses on the very hardest difficulty, I would do every race, every challenge, and I would try to unlock all of the cars. Now maybe that was grindy, but the difference is that, you know, at least once you'd accomplished that grind, nobody could take that away from you. You had done the hard work, and as a result, you got the reward. Nowadays, in modern gaming, there are certain challenges that can be paid to skip. An example of this in Gears 5 is General Ram to be unlocked. General Ram is a character, a very popular character from the franchise. There is now a way to grind for this character. This is good. However, you can then pay to skip. This is where the problem comes out for a lot of people. A lot of people see challenges as a way to earn unique content that they can show off in the game. If we look at Halo 3, there was an entire customization section built around you did certain challenges that unlocked certain armor. Or, in Call of Duty 4, you would unlock your customization through leveling up. You would then be able to attach different gun attachments to the gun, and this was really, really revolutionary at the time. This level of customization is one of the key reasons the game was so popular. And it was because when you saw somebody with a golden gun, you knew the challenges they had gone through to get it. If you saw someone with a certain gun, like a M4A03, you knew what level that player was to unlock that gun. However, and this again isn't just placed on Gears 5, there are now multiple ways to earn characters. There are ways to, even in my favourite franchise, yes, I really did like Crash Team Racing as a child. And you know what? I was looking at buying Crash Team Racing, and when I looked it up, I was absolutely shocked and appalled that the game was riddled with microtransactions. You could buy Wumpa coins with real money to progress yourself further, and there was just a whole host of microtransactions in this game that is a very childlike game. You cannot get away from these microtransactions, and these experiences that I have in my mind of sitting down as a child when I was 5 and 6 and doing racing drive licenses with my father, and then finally unlocking the car and getting to drive that car, that is a memorable experience for me. It might sound daft, it might sound silly, but it is. And if that same experience was cheapened with being able to pay £5 to just buy the car outright, it just wouldn't, I would never have that memory all these years later. And this is what Gears has kind of done in a way. There are certain characters that you have to grind for, or you can pay. There are certain skins that are only available through pay. And when you see somebody in the game with that skin on, you are immediately taken out of the game. You are immediately removed from the immersion of the world the game has created. For me, when I play a game, I just want to sit down for 1 to 2 hours, take myself out of the real world, sit down, play some games, play in the environment that the developer created, and enjoy myself. However, these days, basically every single game, not just Gears 5, every single time you bump into a character from another PvP area or whatever it may be, you see that they are blinged out with microtransactions. And all of a sudden, these microtransactions don't fit the world. And what's worse is, immediately your mind isn't brought to, wow, how did that player do in-game challenges to unlock that? Your mind is taken back into the real world and you think, wow, how much money did that guy spend for that rainbow sniper or whatever it may be? And that's my biggest problem with the modern games. I'm finding myself more and more and more feeling like a customer that just rolls up onto the game and has to think, wow, how did that guy get that? How did that guy buy that? And it spoils it for me. What was so absolutely fantastic about, say, Halo 3 was Halo 3, you could unlock all the armor, you could change your emblem. We saw emblem creation in future Call of Duties be even crazier. But Halo 3 for me was like the first game where I could really customize an emblem, I could change the color of my armor, I could unlock different armors, and I could then go into the theater mode. Now, the theater mode was this feature that I could take a regular clip that I had recorded inside the game, which was also mind-blowing to me at the time, and then edit it and get all these crazy angles. There are people that created jump maps from the theater mode and all the customization it brought. There are people that did artwork inside of Halo through the use of different colored explosions to take pictures. And there was this whole, I guess, culture of jump maps, customization, infection lobbies. And this all came from the developer giving tools to players for free. They gave a theater mode, they gave a forge mode, and they gave a level of customization in multiplayer which shines far and above beyond Gears 5 and modern games to this day. And this isn't just, again, at Gears 5, this is all games. You can change player move speed, player spawns. You can basically create an entire game inside Halo, and that was free. Now imagine if that was launching today. Developers would be selling theater mode, saying that, you know, if you want to record your clips, you know, you can do that. This will cost this much a month. There would be crazy amount of skins you could buy this and that, and it would never feel quite as memorable. Now, when we talk about how rewarding an actual Gears 5 shop is, Gears 5 is not rewarding at all. It sort of separates people and it makes people look at content and go, he's got that. How do I get that? I've got to pay. Now, if you look at my League of Legends store, these are all skins I've got throughout 2019, and I haven't played League of Legends for about 6 months, so it's fairly recently that I've racked up these skins. All these skins, especially towards the end of 2018 as well, where I played a little bit, they are £20, £15, and again, they all change how the character looks, works, different voice acting, different sound effects, all kinds of things that have been given to me for free. Overwatch, there is this mode recently going on during Halloween. You get weekly skins, and because I was a high-level endorsement, I get an extra loot box, and you get rewarded for being a good member of the community. If you're not, quote, toxic, you don't quit games, etc., you get more rewards, which again just inspires people to not quit, be a little bit nicer in the community. And all of these boxes have, you know, set amount of rewards you can earn from them, but they're very, very rewarding. Normally you're going to find something in every single box, and the thing is, you don't pay for these. These are either given out for being a good member of the community, or on every single level you have the chance to earn basically a legendary skin. Now this is RNG, right? But because you're getting one every single level and because it's free, it's really not that painful. Also, the boxes drop currency, and with the currency you can then go and purchase the game's skins. So for example, you might have got a skin that you don't really like, or a duplicate, or just some orange sort of currency. Well, you can just go and purchase something for your favourite character that's there. The only things that are really locked away in Overwatch are specific sort of community events, like, oh, to unlock this you have to have unlocked it during like Christmas Day, you know, and stuff like that. Sort of content for people that are a little bit more hardcore Overwatch fans, that you might want to collect the sort of legendaries and save up your coins to buy them, you know, on that specific day. Now, stat tracking, there was great stat tracking in Gears of War 3, and this stat tracking also led to customization and unlocks. Like, for example, if you had earned the MVP badge a lot, you would be able to display that MVP badge, and because you'd earned that MVP badge, you would then get MVP Thrashball Coal. There were certain skins tied towards doing certain sort of missions and challenges. Now, people have come to me and said that, well, this is an incredibly grindy system. This is something that you are actively against, grindy systems inside retail games. Correct. But the difference is, in this game, is you can't pay to skip it. So, if I've got Thrashball Coal, the only way I have got Thrashball Coal is because I've got MVP in multiplayer so many times. Somebody can't then go into the shop and buy Thrashball Coal. So that's important to note, that you can't pay to skip, and that gives you a level of pride and accomplishment that, right, I've actually got this skin, and that was the only way to get it. You couldn't go ahead and purchase it. Right now, what it feels like is you see General Ram in a game, and you're like, oh, cool, that's General Ram, but you don't respect that player, and you don't respect that player's grind and achievements and skill he's put into earning that character. No, you just think to yourself, did he actually grind for that character, or did he just purchase it? Now, as you can see here, I'm flicking through skins and all kinds of stuff. There are skins in this game. Some of the skins I got gifted to me for being like an Xbox community member. Some people travelled to LAN events and bought me skins as like a gift. But all of the characters and everything, I never spent a dime on any of this. These were just rewards for like playing the game and doing certain challenges. And it just feels like that's gone. Now it feels like when you see someone with a certain camo or a certain character in game, you find yourself questioning, did he grind or did he pay to skip? Now, again, there's a lot we can talk about. We can talk about, do we enjoy the content? Does the content fit thematically? Could there be a theatre mode in Gears of War? Maybe there should be a theatre mode in Gears of War, and that would inspire people to create more content. Maybe they should spend development time on theatre modes, free skins, character skins, challenges, etc. And they're kind of doing that with the Tour of Duty, but the Tour of Duty is a little bit hit and miss right now, and I think that's fair to say that a lot of people aren't happy with the current system, because you can grind and grind and grind and not really get what you want because you weren't playing the correct specific game mode, and also people can skip certain aspects of the content grind. So again, I'd be happy to grind for General Ram if once I'd earned him, nobody else could get him, and you had to put in that groundwork and that grind. But now it's like, well, you put in this grind, well done, but this guy paid $5 and he skipped the grind. Also, the totem system in of itself is slightly, I guess, poor, because on a fundamental level, the totem system is you equip the totem, which means you can only be working towards one challenge at a time. This would be the equivalent of playing Gears of War 3 and the game saying, well, because you equipped the MVP medal and you didn't get MVP, that all of a sudden means you don't get the rifle kill medal because you didn't have the rifle kills on. And that's a small point, and it's a small point to the end of the video that might get missed, but that's a massive point. They are artificially extending the grind through these strange systems, and again, all games are doing this. This just isn't a Gears of War 5 problem. There are loads of games that do this, and it's just very frustrating that because I was doing a certain challenge towards General Ram, that I can't unlock challenges towards, say, the Warden because I didn't have the correct totem on. Again, I'll reiterate the point because I think it's a pretty big point. It would be the equivalent of trying to earn, say, a golden, I'm making this up, but a golden hammerburst in Gears of War 3 for getting 1,000 hammerburst kills. And then, because you got boom shot kills and you had the boom shot emblem equipped, you wouldn't be able to get rifle kills, or they wouldn't count. And then you have to it just forces you into these playstyles and doing things you don't necessarily want to do, and it takes you out of the game. It takes you and it pulls you out of that immersion that you're in for that brief hour or two that you're playing the game, and you sort of end up on this to-do list. You're sort of going off a checklist, and it just rubs me up the wrong way, and I dislike it. So there are loads of things to talk about with cosmetics, but I thought I'd just put that out there. There was a few people claiming basically that I was hypocritical in my positive video, and I'll just touch on that. I don't want this channel to become like the news. I don't want you to tune into this channel and think, oh my god, it's GGZII, he's about to cry and moan for another 30 minutes. I don't think I do that. I try to be fair and balanced in my approach. And I think it was fair and balanced to give Gears of War 5 some positivity, because it did deserve some. It hasn't done everything wrong. There were a lot of positives about Gears 5, and I still stand by that positive video, that the customization in this game is good. The problem isn't the customization or lack of it, it's how you get to that content. It's content gating, as we call it. So I don't think it was hypocritical of me to praise the customization or praise the smoke grenade, which I do still think is brilliant, and all little things. I don't think it was hypocritical. I think it was fair and honest to give a game some props that it deserves for doing some things right, and it's also fair and critical for me to speak about the content gating that the game does. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. This video was a slightly longer form video. I don't get to make these as often as they take a little bit more time, but hopefully you have enjoyed this discussion. If you have, please leave me with a comment and a like, as that is the best way to interact with the channel. As always, this is a sort of monetization free channel. I wish it wasn't. I wish I didn't have to ask, but I do have a content creation goal. We're currently, I think, about 80% towards the content creation goal. So if you are enjoying the channel and you enjoy the videos and you like to see more, you can consider contributing in the description below. That can be through a donation on stream or off stream if you want to do it privately. It can be just a free Twitch Prime, or if you want to go down the free route, a follow on Twitter, a like, a comment and a subscribe goes a whole way. Just for helping sort of push the video out to a little bit of a wider audience. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully this video was good enough for you to consider supporting, and hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll catch you all later. I think the next video will be some sort of review or something like that. I'm not too sure. We'll see. But again, thank you for watching the video. Smash a like on the video if you did. Leave me a comment with, say, what's your opinion on the shop, or opinion on this video, really. I'd love to hear from you. Trying to keep my head down, trying to ignore all the noise that's going on. There's still a lot of noise, so I'm pretty pleased with myself that I haven't really responded to anything. I might have slipped once or twice, but I think I'm doing really, really well. So I'm going to try and not respond again, trying to keep my head down. Appreciate all the support I'm getting from you folks. Take it easy.